Hello world, and more importantly for the purpose of these videos, hello Australia. Now I, like many thousands of Australians, have had a dream of getting into the mines for at least the last 2 years. Unfortunately I don't know the right people in the right places, and like many thousands of Australians, I'm still not in. So I've decided to chase another dream of mine, and that's to A, become Prime Minister of Australia, or B, hopefully my messages and my thoughts will get across to the people in the right places, and the governments that we choose in the future might start to use a little bit of this and point Australia in the right direction. So 90% of Australia, if you like what I have to say and you like my ideas and my visions, then get behind me and do what you got to do with this video so that it gets in front of every set of eyes across Australia. And let's put one hell of a scare into the governments and make them do what we want them to do. So, I, David Hughes, here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I want to run for Prime Minister of Australia, and a few videos I have to show you all you will exactly know how easy it is to turn any deficit they can give me, 50 million for example deficit, into a multi-million dollar surplus within one term. It's so easy, it's right in front of them, it's under their nose, but they refuse to look at it. You see, here in Australia, we like to think we live in a democracy, but we don't. Unfortunately, we live in a hypocrisy. A bunch of raving hypocrites running around in their big fancy cars and what have you, having meetings about nothing but BS, nothing that concerns Australian people, and at the end of the day they spend money that we don't have, and it goes down and down and down. Bottom line is, if you're in deficit, you can't buy your way out of it. You have to work hard and get together as a country, do what's right, do what's needed, and succeed. Unfortunately, I won't have time in this one video, because it'll probably only go for about 15 minutes, to say what I want to say and everything I want to say, which could end up getting me a bit of a sore butt. But anyway, that's life. They need to know what's wrong, and they need to know what needs to be fixed. A few things that I will cover. There's probably 3 major points in Australian government right now that are wasting billions of Australian taxpayers' money, and they do not affect or have any benefit to the average Australian person in any way at all. 1. First and foremost, all illegal immigrants to Australia. You get me into Prime Minister of Australia, and Australia will have a zero tolerance to boat people, zero tolerance to illegal immigrants. No ifs, buts, maybes, let me think about it, oh my God, this, that and the other. If you do not have a valid legal visa and valid legal passport, you will not be allowed to enter our waters, you will not be allowed to enter our country. An Australian person cannot travel the world without obtaining the appropriate visas, passports, or whatever we need, all legal. We have to pay for it. So anybody wanting to come to Australia, you do the same thing. All illegal immigrants or boat people already in Australia, already processed at the time of me becoming Prime Minister. Okay, you can stay. I'm not going to boot you out. You've already been processed thanks to these morons running the country right now. But I suggest you get a resume done up, and I suggest you look for a job, because this you little ripper freebie payment scheme you're on, and the unemployment benefits, family benefits, all gone. Kaput. No more. Voila. All gone. You want to be in Australia, you want to live in Australia, you will receive exactly the same unemployment benefits as every other Australian that doesn't have a job. you will receive exactly the same family benefits as every other family that's struggling. You will not be getting any extra. All Australians are equal. There is nobody gets more, nobody gets less. If you're unemployed, all Australian residents and citizens get the same unemployment benefits. It's that simple. I mean, I went to grade 12 and I did a bit of college. I'm no brainiac, but 1 + 1 = 2. Why pay Australian people this, for example, $500 a month, and then give somebody that's an illegal immigrant into our country to start with more? It's insane. I don't understand how these people went to university to learn this. They went to law school to learn this. Unbelievable. The second and the biggest taxpayer wasted money in this government, and has been in our government for many, many years, is government assets. There are over $1 billion in government assets that are of no benefit at all to the Australian people. And guess what? When you, Australia, get me, David Hughes, into the position of Prime Minister of Australia, it's all sold. $1 billion will get put straight back into the Australian economy. The government jet, sold. I don't need it. If I want to fly anywhere, I need to fly anywhere, I will fly within Australia using Australian-owned aircraft. Virgin, Qantas, Jetstar. It's cheaper to fly, jump on a plane, economy class people. Forget the first class, business class. Once I'm elected Prime Minister of Australia, every single government member across Australia, including local councils, will all travel economy class airfare and standard room accommodation when staying in a motel. If any of those people, including myself, wish to fly business class or upgrade, they will pay the difference out of their own pocket. The Australian government will only pay for economy class and standard airfares and motels. There's another couple of $1 million saved a year. It's unbelievable. Now, as for the government jet, does anybody out there know how much per year it costs to maintain that jet? Or to buy it in the first place? To pay the pilot to fly it everywhere with 10 people on 200,000 plus a year? The fuel alone just to go from Australia to America. For the price our current government spend on one trip in the government jet from Australia to America, me as Prime Minister of Australia could travel around the world and visit every leader of every country in a 6-month period for the same price. It's insane. Wake up to yourself, government, and do what's right for the country. Stop doing what's right for you. It's a democracy, not a hypocrisy. Unbelievable. Bulletproof cars. What a freaking joke. If you don't do bad by people and you don't treat your countrymen like crap, they don't want to kill you. Very simple. You upset people, they want to, oh my God, look, Indigenous people throwing something at the glass window. Where's my security guards? Quick, get us to the... Of course they're angry at you because you ripped them off and you said bad about them. You treat people the way you want to be treated, and you will get the same in return. It's that simple. You don't need bodyguards. You don't need bulletproof cars. Hell, I don't even want the Prime Minister's Lodge. I don't need it. We live in a world where technology has taken over. I could sit there as Prime Minister of Australia and have a conference call with the President of the United States of America. So why do I need to go to Canberra, or why do I need to live in Canberra just so a bunch of suits can sit in a room and argue about gay marriage? I don't need it. My family and I will live in our own house We will eat our own food. I will shop at Woolworths. I will eat at McDonald's. I'll have a company car. I'll drive myself around. And if I do need to go interstate to speak with other politicians about whatever and what have you, I will fly using Australian-owned aircraft. Economy airfare. It's as simple as that. The amount of money that can be saved every single year by doing things simple and right is absolutely phenomenal. The PM Lodge will be gone, sold. The government jet, gone, sold. All the bulletproof cars, gone, sold. And I'll go one step further. We don't need Government House. What's it there for? We don't need it. We live in a world of technology, people. But I'll let Australian people vote on that one, whether that gets sold or not. But personally, I don't think we need any of that stuff. Okay. If I'm elected, all these assets will be sold. Guaranteed. They're not necessary. Don't need a jet, don't need a house, don't need bulletproof cars. I myself and all members of government in Australia, including local councils, as I said before, will be flying and staying in accommodation of standard rate or economy airfare. It's so simple. Things that should be done for the last 20 years have never been done. Anyway, catching up with my notes here. Okay. Now, as for government pensions, this one's I really love. Okay. You get voted out of government because people don't like you. You were crap. You didn't do the job. So why should you turn around and get a lucrative pension scheme for life, whereas our fathers, our parents, our grandparents that built our country and made it what it is, you didn't do it, Miss Governor or whatever you are. You didn't do it. The Australian people made our country what it is. Then when they get old, you want to close their retirement homes, nursing homes? You want to pay them this measly, well, what is it, 500 or something a fortnight, but then you only have to spend 2 years or so in government, and then you get a beautiful pension plan. Wrong. That is all gone. Australia, you get me into Prime Minister of Australia, and the government pension scheme will be abolished. All ex-politicians currently on this scheme will get a shock because their pension will be exactly the same as our parents and our grandparents. As I said earlier, we're all Australians, we're all equal. Nobody gets more, nobody gets less. You're unemployed, doesn't matter who you are, you get the same unemployment benefit. You're an unemployed family or you have one child, you get family benefits. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are in Australia, you get the same amount as the next person. You're an old age pensioner or a disabled pensioner. Doesn't matter whether you're in government before, now, then, later, never. You will get the exact same pension. So all you people that are probably in your 50s or whatever, even early 60s, that are retired from government and you're receiving these nice pensions, get a job, get a resume, because you're going to need it. Because Australia's sick of you causing everyday Australians to lose your job. It's time you, the politicians, lost your job, lost your money. Time you found out what it was like to be stepped on and trodden over like a piece of dirt. That's how you treat us. That's how you're going to be treated. There is a big storm coming to the Australian government, and it's called Cyclone Davo. And it's devastating. So get behind me, Australia. The time's nearly up for this video, so I'll try and do another video as soon as I can. If you like what I've got to say, wait till you hear the next one. As far as I'm concerned, state governments are not needed. We have local councils in every single shire in Australia. Then we have an Australian government. The local council goes to the state government to get money. The state government gets their money from the Australian government. It's time to cut out the middleman. We have Australian government, we have a treasurer for each state, and we have local government, local councils. More on that in the next video. Things need to get shaken up, Australia. Get behind me. Get this video out there. Mr. Clive Palmer, you want to put your money behind someone that can really put Australia from the bottom of the map to the top of the world? Get behind me. Mr. Dick Smith, let's get behind me and let's help everybody get Australian made. Let's fly Australian owned. Let's eat at Australian owned. Let's stay at Australian owned. Mr. Richard Branson, I did do a plug there for Virgin too, so if you want to get behind me and help me get in, by all means, contact me. Next video coming soon, guys. Catch up with you then. Ciao for now. Take care, Australia.